What is up, everybody? It's Three Wheel Khalil, and guess what? Can-Am just announced their new 2024 on-road lineup. And you know what that means. We've got to do our yearly thing where we break down the models, look at all the new features. So, stick with me, and let's get into it. And I apologize if I miss anything. I'm burning a little bit of the midnight oil to try and get this video out as soon as possible. But if you have any observations or comments, I would love to hear them in the comments below. It just helps us further the conversation, see what these 2024 models are all about, and help influence people's purchasing decisions so that people are well informed when they go out to pick up their new Can-Am. So please, please, please keep the conversation going in the comments. Without further ado, let's get into it. I like to start off with this teaser trailer because it really kind of sets the tone. As we can see, we've got the 2024 Spyder lineup, so this isn't including the Ryker, but honestly, it kind of seems like that is the theme of this year, is that the new changes are focused on the Spyders. This big change is pretty front and center. So that new display seems to be one of the big things that they're touting in 2024, which is awesome. Comes with CarPlay, which I think is a welcome addition for Can-Ams at this price range. LED headlights, which I think the Spyder F3 line has been begging for again at the price point that it is. Honestly, maybe it should have been standard for the last couple of years, but it's great to see it finally making its way into the 2024 lineup. Other than that, the designs seem basically unchanged from the RT to the F3, and it looks like they're showing a F3, is that a limited? Yeah, F3 limited. So across those models, it seems relatively unchanged in terms of the design, other than those new headlights and that awesome display. So that's pretty cool. This is also a sick drone shot. Nothing to do with Can-Am, but it's a sick drone shot. Again, they're just highlighting these LED lights, improving visibility, and Can-Am. That's awesome. So we're going to pop over here and take a look at the lineup page. So if you guys want, you can go to canam.brp.com/onroad and you will see all of the models. So this is the 2024 lineup. We've got the Ryker, Spyder F3, Spyder RT, and I thought we were going to hear a little bit more about their two-wheel motorcycles, to be honest, but unfortunately, I think they kind of are still in the preview and taking their time to let that out. And maybe there'll be a bigger event specifically dedicated to just that kind of unveiling. But let's start on the Ryker line. From what I can see, the Ryker remains pretty much unchanged. I think this new wheel option was unveiled last year for the 600, I think, rocks those wheels. You know, kind of what we expect every year from the Ryker. We've got some new panel designs. And let's see if we can pop in and take a look. I mean, new panel designs. This is one of the big things for the Ryker, is that the wheels have gone from white to this, I think they call it hyper silver or something like that. It's pretty cool, to be honest. I personally like the white or the black option. I think the silver is nothing wrong with silver, but I'd probably go with white or black personally. So that's cool to me. Let's see. Just popping through some of these colors here. I think that's I don't know. It's a pretty cool color way. So like usual, I think this one is a new one here. It's kind of like ghosty purple color. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so like usual, we kind of expect Can-Am's going to drop some panels. They're going to bring some new panels. This looks pretty cool. I like this color with the teal and orange. That's pretty sweet. That's one of my favorite things about the Rykers, that you can really switch the style up with just the panels. You know, a lot of people do like full wraps and stuff like that, which is sweet, man. But it's nice to just be able to throw some panels on and give yourself a different look, and that's sweet. So, you know, we're looking at similar prices for the Ryker Rally for all the options that we've had before. I think I'm not sure. I don't really keep up with the exact, dollar amounts from year to year. But if I had to say, maybe it's gone up a couple bucks per model, but that price change might have happened last year. So For all intents and purposes, the Ryker line remains about the same, with the exception of the different wheel color and some new panel options. Now, the F3 line, I think, is where we're going to get the biggest change, which is funny because last year when we had this video, I talked about the F3 line and said that it was the one that needed the most changes. It's basically the oldest design in the fleet at this moment in time because the RT's design has been redone. The Ryker is a completely new model, although it's matured over the last 4 years or so. However, the F3 has been around for a long time, man. So we're getting close to 10 years of the F3. So it's pretty cool to see them make some changes, although the changes are not big. And I don't think the F3 really needs it. I think the F3 looks really good, and this big change to the front design with these new LED headlights is pretty welcome. But there's also changes to the models as well. So instead of simply, where you could get previously the F3, there was the F3S, and then there was the F3S Special Series. Like there were 3 different options essentially within the F3, base sporty model. Now they have cut 2 of those options, and they are just doing a straight up F3S rather than an F3S Special Series and then a normal F3. So there's no chance of buying an F3 without the new digital cluster, which on the last generation you still could buy a base F3 with like the old school cluster, I believe. So this is the first year where they're just keeping it fairly simple, just F3S. And this is the big colorway, is this kind of matte black, very similar to what we have now, but instead of that powder blue frame, they've got this red frame. Looks cool. I like the wheels. I really do like the wheels of the new model. However, I do like the blue better than the red. And I guess the one cool thing about having the Special Series was that you would basically have at least 2 color options per year. You would see, whatever was the standard color option, and then the F3S would give you something that was a little bit different, a little bit limited. We're not going to have that anymore, it seems like, unless Can-Am does some sort of one-off models throughout the year. So it's a little bit disappointing, maybe to some, maybe to me as well. I definitely like that. One of the big questions I have just looking at this new Can-Am model is, are these headlights going to be retrofittable? Because honestly, it is beautiful. I really, really like these new headlights. I've analyzed the new headlights a bit against a picture of an older F3, F3S Special Series, my own, and there are some differences in kind of like this, I don't know what you'd call it, but this cockpit area from the front side. So these new headlights seem to change the design of this upper area a little bit, and that upper area might be just different enough that the headlights won't be a plug and play, upgrade to an existing F3, which, it's not the best. It would love to see these on a 2023 or 2022. I mean, to be honest, I've said it before, a 2023 $20,000 Spyder should have LED lights. It is nice to see now that is standard, but honestly, 2021, 2022, every year from that time period, I think we should have been seeing something like that. So it would be nice to see if these were retrofittable. I don't know if they will be, but kind of on my kind of quick initial glance here, I'm going to say I don't think that they will be. Speaking of retrofitting, so obviously one of the huge changes is this new screen. It is the new screen that's going to be on the F3 and the RT lineup. Now, what I have checked out is they have a Q&A session here talking about the different, basically, frequently asked questions about the screen. And obviously, I think a lot of people are going to want to know the answer to this question. Can-Am has answered with a resounding no. We will not be able to add this screen to our older Can-Am Spyder. So if you want this new screen, if you want the new tech, if you want to be able to have Apple CarPlay built into your Can-Am Spyder, you have to get a 2024 model. Plain and simple. That's the only answer as far as right now from BRP. That is what we hear. Going through that, the new models, the upper models, it seems like basically everything is a play off of this same one wheel design, and just different kind of colors and different paint on the wheels, which is cool. I think that probably saves them some money in manufacturing, and I think that these wheels look good in all of the different designs that they are in on these different Spyder models. So I've got no problem with that. As far as the F3 goes, other than that, I mean, that's really it. You know, new paint colors, LED headlights, new screen. Mechanically, they're the same. Suspension, the same. From everything that they have put out so far, it's going to be an identical experience if we're talking mechanically and, you know, from a riding perspective, other than, you know, some of these new tech creature comforts and the added visibility that could give you maybe some more confidence in night riding and stuff like that. And last but certainly not least in cost, as I like to say, we've got the Spyder RT. I didn't really see anything other than this new screen that is, worth talking about. For the Spyder lineup, we're going to get new colors. That's a given. So yeah, you've got the new screen, Apple CarPlay, which is great to see. I think if I haven't said this already, in one of my more recent videos, I talked about what I wanted to kind of see on a improved F3 or an improved Spyder. And it's funny to see that CarPlay was one of the specific things that I talked about in comparison to a Honda Goldwing, which has a similar cost, especially to these RTs. An RT usually would cost similar, if not more, than a Goldwing. And a Goldwing has had CarPlay for years now. It's nice to see that that we've caught up on the Can-Am side, and I think that's going to be really cool for the folks that are doing a lot of touring riding, because there's nothing like just having your maps and having that same interface. It does suck a little bit that the Android Auto folks are left out. I'm an iPhone guy, so I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but it would be nice if they had feature parity. But I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I've seen Android Auto on the other ones, but I don't pay too much attention since I don't have an Android phone. So I don't know if there are other motorcycles on the market with Android Auto, or if like the Goldwing supports it, for example. But as far as I'm concerned, it is a big leap forward in tech with this new screen, and I'm happy to see it. I wish we would get to see some of these features trickle back to our older models, because honestly, I just don't feel like a 2023 or 2022 should be left out of this, just based on like kind of recency. Like, I mean, they're pretty new models in as far as tech goes, but unfortunately, if you want to get it, you got to upgrade. And so if this is something on your radar, definitely 2024 is the year to pick up a Spyder. So honestly, guys, that is about it, without going into, things like colors and stuff like that, which I'll let you all look at in your own leisure. I will say that those seats look pretty cool on this Sea to Sky. I do like those seats. Yeah, man, definitely take a browse. If you do have a particular color that you've seen and you love it, throw it in the comments below. I don't want to take up everyone's time just talking about colors. But yeah, man, I think that the lineup is strong. I think Can-Am, my Spyder F3S is a hoot. There are times where I don't ride as much as I wish I could, and every time I get out there, I enjoy myself to no end. So would I recommend going out and getting a 2024 when they are on showroom floors? Yes. If it is similar to the experience that I have now, plus some, then I think you're getting a great value, and you'll enjoy it. But other than that, I think this is a pretty simple lineup to nail. Is that you've got a new screen, you got some new lighting, and some new colors. Pretty simple. Anyway, if you got any comments on the new lineup, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to talk to you all in the comments. You guys know I'm usually pretty active getting back to people and having conversations down there. So let's talk about it. And remember, life's more fun on three wheels. Peace.